All right, ladies and gentlemen. So I know I said that some of the articles I've read prior are some of the worst that I've ever read, like ever, and they're very egregious. But this one in particular from PC Gamer, I just made a post over on my Twitter about it because I was honestly blown away. As I'm reading news about Assassin's Creed Shadows and I'm kind of getting information together before I make my videos, I read this particular post and I wasn't going to do anything with it. But then I ended up reading far enough and I realized that PC Gamer is trying to compare Assassin's Creed Shadows 2 million players to Kingdom Come Deliverance's 2 million copies sold. They're trying to say that 2 million players engaged is the same, if not better, than 2 million copies sold at full price. What are we doing? So let's get into this article, guys, from PC Gamer. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. Guys, I am not kidding. I am not kidding. I'm trying to compose myself. PC Gamer has said that Assassin's Creed Shadows hits 2 million players, putting it on track to be the series' most successful game yet. I am not kidding. These people are unbelievably stupid, or at the very least are paid useful idiots. It's got to be one of the two, because if you're out here trying to say that 2 million players engaged is the same as 2 million copies sold at full price, you are out of your freaking mind, and you are clearly trying to be just as deceptive as Ubisoft is. It says Assassin's Creed Shadows hit another milestone, putting it just a katana slash away from becoming the biggest game in the series. The biggest game in this series, according to PC Gamer. Assassin's Creed Shadows, a game that just now, as of Sunday, barely passed what Odyssey did in 2019, is going to make it the biggest game in the series. And what they keep doing is they keep comparing it to Assassin's Creed games that did not day one release on Steam in order to try to make it seem like it's bigger than it actually is. It's all deceptive marketing, boys. Just 3 days after its release date, Assassin's Creed Shadows has hit yet another milestone and passed 2 million players. According to Ubisoft, Assassin's Creed Shadows has now surpassed the launches of Origins and Odysseys. And again, I want you guys to understand something. I see people on Twitter trying to say that, they said it passed the launches of Origins and Odyssey. That means it's selling more than them. No, it doesn't. It's all about the words being used. When they say that it surpassed the launches of Assassin's Creed Origins and Odyssey, they're talking about the amount of players that are playing right now at this current time compared to when that game launched at that current time. There is more players playing this game at this current time, but there's less copies sold than those games because Ubisoft Plus is now a thing. And also, too, Assassin's Creed's main account on Twitter was handing out keys like candy. They were dropping keys, shadow dropping keys for people to get the game for free in order to pad this number so that it makes it look bigger than it actually is. But this game has not announced 1 million units sold. Not yet, anyway. They will, just not yet. They haven't announced it yet because they haven't hit it yet. But they have 2 million players. It's because of Ubisoft Plus. It's because that is how people are playing this game. Why would you pay full price for a Ubisoft game when you could pay $15.99 a month and get the entire maximum edition for $15? That is what most people are doing. Shadows has already sailed past 1 million players in its first 24 hours, easily breaking Valhalla's record. To put that into perspective, when Valhalla released in 2020, Ubisoft claimed it was the biggest PC launch ever, although the game's Steam player base remains smaller than other games in the franchise. 5 years later, Shadows seemed to have eclipsed that. Bro, oh my God, dude. Oh my God, PC Gamer. Obviously, Assassin's Creed Shadows is going to eclipse the Valhalla PC release because Valhalla was not a day one release on Steam, you motherfuckers. What the fuck? I cannot believe this is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. We are so desperate to try to pretend that a game is a win that you are flat out lying to people out here saying, yeah, Assassin's Creed Shadows destroyed Valhalla's record. Of course it did, because Valhalla wasn't a day one on Steam. Why are you comparing a day one Steam against Valhalla's non-day one Steam? What is wrong with you? And then it says this record-breaking wave of players at launch is thanks to, in part, the fact that Ubisoft didn't wait to release Shadows on Steam. Valhalla didn't arrive on Steam until a full 2 years after. So you admit that it didn't arrive until 2 years after its initial debut, and you're still using it as a comparison for Shadows to try to claim that it's a win? Are you serious right now? It says that may explain why Valhalla has few players on Steam than Shadows, Odyssey, and Origins, which were all available on Steam at launch. Was Origins available at launch? I know Odyssey was. I wasn't quite sure if Origins was. At the time of writing, Shadows' all-time peak concurrent player count on Steam is hovering at just over 60,000, within spitting distance of Odyssey's record of 62,069, but far beyond Origins at 41,551, and Valhalla at 15,679. Okay, so if Origins has this high of a number, it definitely day one on Steam for sure. If Shadows continues to attract new players at this rate, it could pass Odyssey's records in just a matter of days. It already did. It already did. Let's show you on SteamDB. On SteamDB right now, the game is going down, but it hit an all-time peak 4 hours ago of 64,825. So the game has already beaten Odyssey's record. But let me make it very clear. Not only did it barely beat Odyssey's record, but of course it should beat Odyssey's record. There are more people playing on PC now than there ever was in 2019. If Assassin's Creed Shadows could not beat Odyssey's record, then somebody fucked up somewhere, right? Somebody fucked up somewhere, okay? And you know what's even sadder? You guys are trying to compare yourself to Kingdom Come Deliverance. We're about to get into that. This statement is absolutely insane. You guys are trying to compare yourself to Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, but the simple fact is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 had an actual player base that was actually spending money, that was actually buying the game at full price, that is still buying the game at full price right now to this day, that is actually making the company a ton of money, that is actually going to lead to a Kingdom Come Deliverance 3, that is probably going to be even bigger than 2 was, most likely. This is not even remotely the same to be compared, and yet you're doing it anyway. Because the funny thing is, you need it to be a win. But look at the difference between Kingdom Come 1 and Kingdom Come 2. Kingdom Come 2 Deliverance concurrent player count number absolutely decimated Kingdom Come's 1 concurrent player number. You can't say that for Odyssey. You can't say that for Shadows. Shadows is only about 2,000 higher than Odyssey was. A game from 2019 in a setting that more people are interested in than anything else, which is feudal Japan. You mean to tell me you can only get 2,000 more players concurrently? This is what we're doing? Anyway, so this is the egregious statement that made me want to do this video. And I'm telling you, man, reading this statement just blew my mind because I cannot believe that there are people out there that are so unbelievably disingenuous. And these are the people that will use words like grifter, rage baiter, hate merchant, all this kind of stuff. These are the kind of people. It says, in fact, Shadows is on track to be one of the biggest game releases of the year. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 was hailed as a hit earlier this year and took 2 weeks to hit 2 million players. Look at how they highlighted. Hold on, let me go back. Look at how they highlighted 2 weeks. Look at this. 2 weeks to hit 2 million players. A milestone that Shadows reached in just a few days. Oh my God, dude. This is one of the most egregious statements I think I've ever read in an article because it goes to show just how much they are actually trying to run damage control for this company. Let me make it very clear to you guys. 2 million players engaged is not the same as 2 million copies sold. I know a lot of you out there understand that, but I want to be very clear for those that might not understand that. 2 million players engaged or players engaged is a metric that is used by corporations that are doing one of two things, usually both at the same time. Number one, they're trying to push a subscription service. So they're not going to talk about copies sold. They want to talk about players engaged in order to encourage people to sign up for whatever their subscription service is that is offering that particular game that they're trying to convince you is hot right now for a very low price of $15.99 a month instead of the very high price of $140 for the same edition. Okay, that's number one. Number two, they're out here desperately trying to do this because they need this game to be viewed as a win for their investors, for the people out there who are shills. They maybe they don't quite understand what's going on. They need this game to be a win publicly in the eye of everybody else. And they need it to be a win so bad that they've probably, I think anyway, my own opinion, paid off these journalists in order to put out good press for like a week or two nonstop for this game in order to try to sway public perception, because they already know that real people out there are looking at the numbers truthfully and objectively and realizing that, wow, this is a fucking failure. This is a massive failure. You only have 2,000 more concurrent players in Odyssey. You're getting absolutely cooked out there, and you're trying to convince everybody that you're a big boy by standing with a game like Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 that sold 2 million copies at full price. They're not using players engaged. They're not talking about players engaged as a metric. Kingdom Come doesn't even have a fucking service where you could play the game for essentially free at 1/10 of the price like you do. So it's not even close to being the same. If the majority of the players are playing on Ubisoft Plus, that means every player is worth $15, and that's assuming That's assuming that they subscribed in order to play your game, which chances are half of the people playing the game were already subscribed to begin with. So you're not gaining any extra money. It's the same argument as games that flop because they go on Game Pass, right? There are some games that absolutely do sell like hotcakes if they are on Game Pass, but those are few and far between. They are the exception. They are not the rule. The majority of games that go on Game Pass to die because most people just rather play the game on Game Pass. Why would they want to pay the game full price if they could just play it on Game Pass and be done with it? Unless it's a video game that they genuinely want to own and add to their collection, they're not going to buy it. They're going to use Game Pass as a trial, and if Game Pass was enough, they're just going to keep it at that and move on with their lives. Same exact thing with this and Ubisoft Plus. Most people are not taking most people are not taking Assassin's Creed Shadows home with them, right? You can have a million guys fuck the shit out of this girl, but at the end of the day, if nobody's taking you home to marry you, then what does it matter, right? That's like literally trying to like cheer yourself on for being the most rented game out there. Right now, that is what Shadows is doing. Shadows is cheering itself on and patting itself on the back for being the #1 most rented game out there. That is absolutely insane. Shadow's success is a much-needed win for Ubisoft, which had a rough... I guarantee you, oh my God, bro. I'm going to screenshot this. I guarantee you, I fucking guarantee you that them saying that this is a win, I promise you, I will screenshot this and I will utilize it in a video in the future that is inevitably going to come about Ubisoft layoffs, Ubisoft earnings call, Shadows underperformed, whatever. They're going to do whatever they can. I'm telling you right now, those are coming. Those are coming. Shadows is going to be announced as a failure, or, well, let me rephrase. They don't use the word failure, right? They just say, it underperformed expectations. They use that for the last 4 games that they released, saying it underperformed expectations. So they're going to say that Shadows missed the mark or something along those lines. I cannot wait for those future articles that are based on that earnings call from Ubisoft. And no matter how much Ubisoft tries to hide it, they already know they're cooked. Their stock is falling, continues to fall. It has dropped 8% in a day. I haven't even checked it today. I can only imagine what it dropped. Let's see. So according to this, Ubisoft stock has dropped another 7.24%. Look at this, bro. Since the release of Shadows, people have checked out completely. People are checking out. This game is getting absolutely destroyed, and it's only a matter of time before the truth comes out. All that fake-ass positive press about the game, you could try to keep going as much as you want, but this company is 100% cooked, and it's only a matter of time, like the other games, that the truth comes out. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.